Hey, third graders, what's up? It's Mr. Stanley again, and today we're going to learn one of my favorite workplace games of all time, and it's called Anything But Five. There was a game or a show I used to watch when I was a kid over the summer. It was called The Price is Right, and it's still on TV. And they had a lot of games, a lot like this one, where you try to take your chances to win the game, but there is a chance that you might lose your turn or lose it all. So it's like taking a big risk. And I love games that involve a lot of risk because sometimes taking risks and chances make things exciting, especially when we play games. So this one's called Anything But Five. I'm going to skip the instructions and just kind of show you how to play this game so I can keep our video short today. So as you can see, for Anything But Five, there are two sides to our game. There's a player one and a player two, and they each have an equation to start on the right-hand side that says 95 minus equals blank. So for each turn, every person gets to roll a toss. And they can have up to 3 rolls per round. That just depends on if you roll a 5 or not. That's why the game's called Anything But Five. So what you want to do is you want to toss the dice and add those up. And that will then take away from our total right now of 95. So anytime you make a toss, you add the 2 dice up, and then that will take away or subtract from your number of 95. So let's pretend like I'm going to go right now and I'll start the game. So I'm going to make a toss, and I rolled an 8 and a 6. So that means I'm going to take my pen or my notebook paper. Oops, I don't want to do that. Let's be done with this. I want to do just my pen. That's all. I'll do this one. Okay, so for my pen today, I'm going to pick, let's just do purple. And I'm going to write down, I rolled a 12. Is that correct? Is that what I rolled? Or was that a 14? Oh, it was a 14. So I'm going to put 95. Let's see, pen. There you go. 95 minus 14. Okay, now I might need to use my whiteboard for some of this. As you can see, there's also some hundreds and tens blocks up here in case you need them to subtract from base 10. You could use a number line. I love to have my students have their whiteboards out just because some of these equations aren't really as simple to do in our head. We might need to use it with our thinking and a board. In this case, I have 5 ones, take away 4 ones, that's 1 1. And then 9 ones, 9 tens, take away 1 10, that's 8 tens. So my new total now is 81 because I started with 95. Now, I can say that that is my answer, and I can say this is where I'm going to stop. I can roll 2 more times if I want to, but there is a risk. If I toss in either of those 2 next tosses, if I roll a 5, I go back to where I started. So I'm either going to start back at 95 again, or I can take a chance and continue to take away from my total. And right now, my total where it sits is 81. So that's not bad. What should I do? Should I go for it? All right, I'll go for it. I make a toss, and my toss is... Oh no, I rolled a 5. Oh my goodness, I have to go back to 95. So I write in my turn 95 minus 0 is 95. And then my next round, I start at 95 minus. So now for this next round, I would go and do that. Now my partner would go, and my partner then does the same thing. Sorry, I'll erase that. And my partner would go down to the dice and toss the dice. And my partner makes the toss. And my partner rolls a 9 and a 6. A 9 plus 6 is a 15. So 95 minus 15. And that one I can do in my head pretty easily. 5 ones minus 5 ones is 0 ones. And then 9 tens minus 1 10 is 8 tens, or a total of 80. So right now I'm sitting at a score of 80. And as before, I can take a chance. Now you saw what happened last time. I can take a chance and I can spin these two numbers again. But if I spin a 5, my turn's over and I go back to where I was. So I'm going to go ahead on this person's try and I'm going to toss again. All right, so this person got lucky. He can have another round. 4 plus 4 is 8. And the game would continue. So I'd take the number 80 and I would subtract 8 away from that. 8 away from 80 is 72. Now, right now I'm sitting at 72. I can continue on and do my total of whatever I'm spinning and go from there. But you know what? I'm going to keep it because I don't want to risk it anymore. So I'm going to take 15 and 18 and I'm going to subtract that from 95, which happens to be a total of 23. And I'm going to get my total of 72. So my next round starts at 72. Now, if you haven't guessed by now, I'm going to continue on with all my rounds. And the first person to get rid of all their numbers and end at 0, or take away everything, including 0, then they are the winner of the game. That's how the game continues and wins. Now, in this case, this person is clearly winning with 72. This person over here is stuck back at 95 because they spun or they rolled a 5. So that's what makes this game so much fun, is that you can have up to 3 different subtraction equations to take away from your total. But if you roll a 5, you're done. You go back to where you started. So super cool game. Awesome fun, especially if you like the risk-taking type games like I do. I will hear a lot of, oh my goodness, when we do this game, because it is all about risks. So hopefully you enjoyed learning how to play Anything But Five and having a wonderful time playing it. It is one of my favorite games. Enjoy.